What if I told you the world's most powerful empire didn't fall in battle? It rotted from the inside. No one saw it coming, until it was too late. Today, we uncover how the Roman Empire, ruler of the Western world, vanished. For over 500 years, the Roman Empire stood as the most powerful force in the Western world. Its roads stretched across continents, its legions crushed enemies, and its culture defined civilization. But by 476 AD, the unthinkable had happened. The Western Roman Empire had fallen. So, what went wrong? How did a seemingly eternal empire crumble into chaos? A giant on unsteady legs. By the late 3rd century AD, the Roman Empire had become too big and too complex to govern efficiently. To restore order, Emperor Diocletian split the empire in two in 285 AD, creating the Eastern and Western Roman Empires. This was meant to make administration easier, but instead, it widened the gap between the richer East and the increasingly vulnerable West. While the Eastern Roman Empire, based in Constantinople, flourished, the western half, centered in Rome and later Ravenna, faced mounting problems: political instability, financial ruin, and constant military threats. Second enemies at the gates. The empire's borders were under constant pressure from outside forces. Germanic tribes like the Visigoths, Vandals, and Ostrogoths had long been pushing into Roman territory, seeking land, stability, or refuge from the even more fearsome Huns to the east. In 378 AD, the Romans suffered a devastating defeat at the Battle of Adrianople, where the Visigoths killed Emperor Valens and shattered a Roman army. It was a turning point. The empire had shown weakness, and others took notice. Then, in 410 AD, the unimaginable happened. Rome was sacked by the Visigoths under Alaric I. Though the empire had suffered defeats before, Rome itself hadn't fallen in over 800 years. The psychological blow was enormous. Third, a rotting core. While enemies attacked from without, rot spread from within. The Roman economy was crumbling. Trade slowed, cities shrank, and inflation soared. Gold became scarce. The empire relied heavily on slave labor, discouraging innovation and productivity. Politically, things were a mess. Emperors came and went, often the victims of assassination or military coups. In just one 50-year period, over 20 emperors took power in the West. Few had the time or ability to enact lasting reforms. The once proud Roman legions were now increasingly filled with mercenaries, many of them Germanic themselves. While they fought for Rome, their loyalty often shifted to whoever paid them most, or promised them land and power. The final blows in the mid-5th century, two more disasters struck. In 455 AD, Rome was sacked again, this time by the Vandals, who plundered the city over a brutal 2-week period. Then came Attila the Hun, who ravaged large parts of Gaul and Italy before his sudden death. In 453 spared Rome from another assault. But the damage was done. Rome had become a ghost of its former self. In 476 AD, the Germanic chieftain Odoacer deposed the last Western Roman emperor, a boy named Romulus Augustulus, ironically named after the legendary founder of Rome and its first emperor. Odoacer declared himself ruler of Italy, and the Western Roman Empire was no more. What remained? The Eastern Roman Empire, what we now call the Byzantine Empire, continued for nearly 1,000 more years. But in the West, Europe fell into what historians often call the Dark Ages. Without centralized Roman authority, power fragmented into kingdoms and warlord territories. Roads decayed, cities shrank, and literacy declined. But the legacy of Rome lived on. Roman law, language, architecture, and Christianity continued to shape Europe for centuries to come. Conclusion: an empire's echo. The fall of the Western Roman Empire wasn't a single event. It was a slow unraveling caused by internal decay and external pressure. It stands as a cautionary tale about how even the mightiest powers can fall when they stop adapting to changing times. In the end, Rome didn't fall in a day. It fell over generations until one day it simply wasn't there anymore.